3 of the day. It's going to be cast by Helium and Launders. Take it away, boys.
Thank you guys so much. Here we go into the first map of the first best of 3 of the tournament thus far. Winner moves on to the major, and the loser goes home.
Yeah, this is really interesting because we, you and myself, Helium, casted the first best of 1 between Liquid and HellRaisers, and that was a
rematch.
And this is the rematch. Both teams out for blood. I think Liquid are happy to be playing HellRaisers as opposed to potentially Mouse, right? And they get a pretty decent map selection off of it. They get Cache, they get Overpass, and if it goes to Dust 2, we saw Liquid pretty much have like a solid Dust 2 but still lose. And that's not to say that HellRaisers aren't good at it, but I think that means they have a chance no matter what.
Yeah, just keep in mind, that was the game that started the day yesterday. Actually, we'll go to the pistol round first. Very flash. Kucher backing off over to the truck. Oscar also there. He's had a great performance this land. What can he do on the pistol? Hiko gets into the default. Elige over to quad. So A control is taken. They just got to get that bomb down. Hiko goes over to quad. Elige, poking out. Will turn, though. Does take some damage. 2 men over at quad. It seems like Oscar is going to be aware of this. HellRaisers have the man advantage. 5 on 4 as they go in. Elige is going to even it up with that Glock frag. And another one onto Kucher. Stiko goes in. Elige with 3-0 finally takes him out. Actually, his second kill of the round. And then, okay, Hiko's still alive here. They've got no Zero. Just turns on him. Adren brings down Angel, and there's potential 2 seconds, but Adren gets there in time. A double for him as well, and Team Liquid will take the pistol round.
Whew, that was a close call, and you can see the relief on Adren's face there as he clutches out that pistol round that it could have been easily stuck, and Adren might not have been able to see exactly how it was planted. And it had to be planted so safe because everyone from HellRaisers was on the retake, but there was no smoke to stop someone from coming from the bomb wall, and that was Oscar, who tried to kill, I think, Elige trying to plant the bomb, and he couldn't get away with it. So now HellRaisers are moving to this round with the CIS Eagle by 3 people have him. Elige eliminates one of them.
Yeah, not so expensive though because they don't actually go for armor behind it. So it's just the Deagles hunting for those headshots. They'll probably do this 2 rounds in a row, and there's Zero with the headshot. I think it might have even been standing in fire. As we see some of the headshot ledge, Stiko going to back off. Angel 2-1 Deags. Now they've got the man advantage. 3 on 2. Hiko and Adren still with utility rifles and of course armor, which could be the most important thing here.
Yeah, 2 big mines in North America right here in this 2v3, and they have to go up against the Deagles, and it's like, for the men holding the Deagles, it's looking for good angles to hold, and that opens up the map in a big way. Kucher, the man at middle, has all the information, and he goes down. So I think this is this is making it so that Liquid feel very confident moving into the A site without clearing everything. Going to go right for the plant. We got a man at quad, and much better guns to go up against HellRaisers in this 2v2.
So the end of this round, pretty similar to the end of the last one. Bomb ends up going down in A. Adren kind of stuck on that default plant spot. Hiko back in quad. We've seen Hiko do some incredible things from that position. Angel moves forward, and Adren and Hiko each kill their marks.
The molly goes too far.
Yeah, it did go too far.
Very close call. I mean, if that molly, if our player at bomb wall had the molly, it would have been a different story, but that molly is a little bit too far. Adren able to sit on the plant, and you always know they're on the plant when you come up bomb wall and you hear the bomb go down if you can't see the planter, because you can't get off of default without wrapping the site and exposing yourself to the bomb wall. Now, HellRaisers, again, I think buying up a couple Deagles, so spending a little bit of money, must have a good beat on what this will do for them in terms of economic implications, but again, as you mentioned, didn't buy armor last round, so.
Yeah, all right, Kucher able to take down Simple, so making it a little costly, goes in close to try to get those 1-shots, but can't find it. Now the MAC-10s coming alive and eating up these players that have no armor. It's up to Zero and Stiko. And before we get into the rifles, just to remind everyone, that first map that these guys played, this is the Revenge best of 3 now. Who's truly the better team? It was 22-20 HellRaisers winning, so it was very, very close, and the map was Dust 2, which is our decider. So if it goes the distance, this could be crazy.
Yeah, this could be a pretty great way to end the day for us and for you viewers, and for whichever team wins, obviously, because the other team is going home. But it's kind of interesting, them buying, you've never known the CIS team to make the best economic decisions in CS, but having a Deagle, buying a Deagle 2 rounds in a row as opposed to buying armor, still effectively spending the same amount of money, but then having more outs, kind of, having 2 entire rounds. And then thinking about how you use the deagle, and you use it kind of like, you know, you're very stationary. You try to find a place far back, hold a specific angle that you're really good at, and then try to find a headshot. You know, typically a lot of 1-deeks come without anybody shooting back. And so from that perspective, why buy armor? And I think it makes a lot of sense. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, it gives you, it spreads your money out over 2 rounds, gives you 2 potent rounds. The only thing that's kind of a detriment to that is if you do hit the 1-digs without them shooting back, then you pick up a rifle, you still don't have armor. And that can become a problem if it comes close and you need to clutch it out. But 5-on-5 here. And they've spread out to a default team. Liquid taking it slow, looking around. It'll be simple to do the Dance of Death over in B main, one of the most important roles, and Hiko over on the other side of the map, the lone man in Squeaky.
Hiko is going to be the doorman for the rest of this half, I'm sure, and it will be one of the better players in North America at this position. Important to keep an eye on him. If pressure is put on A and it looks like we see the bomb migrating over to A main. Hiko setting up a smoke. It'll be completely understood by the people in A site what this means, but it doesn't actually allude to an A take. All it means is that Hiko is indoor.
Yeah, oh, great flash. Angel completely blind. Elige getting a free kill with that. Galil Stico trying to drop some flashes of his own. Stop that forward progress of Team Liquid, but they can't do it. His feet are spotted under the smoke as it's fading. Hiko gets a kill. And it's 4-on-3, Liquid advantage. Now in a post plan as the bomb goes down, Oscar will even it up with an op shot onto Simple. As Kucher trying to hit that hop, doesn't land on top. And Zero moving around to Forklift. He spots Nitro, will take him down. Surprised Nitro gives the repeat there. Maybe just bait, that's probably why. Adren was set up at a perfect angle, ready to bait. Now Hiko makes his presence felt from behind. Quad peeks out, gets Zero. Oscar 1 versus 2 with the op, he'll pull it out. Can be done. He's made noise. He's scoped. That's get Hiko interested. With the spray down. Continues to spray while changing his angle. He gets the frag. 4-0 Liquid.
Why not?
And
there's the cheers from Liquid. Yeah, they're happy about winning that round. I feel like Simple almost put that round in jeopardy by peeking from Fork and being like, you know, in that 3v3, the first one to die too early. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence, but either way, Team Liquid pick up the slack, and now they have 4 rounds in a row. HellRaisers on a save. Liquid off to a very strong start. Only a couple legal buys this time around. Economy's in a kind of different shape. You are getting loss bonus here, but at the same time, you don't want to save 2 rounds in a row.
Well, Sippo will start this one off with a quick frag onto Angel. The trade is out. There's aggression here in B main from the HellRaisers. Kucher looking for some more, and then he's even further backed up, so a lot of redundancy on the CT aggression. And they try to peek together, but Nitro's got him in a spray down. Puts him in the blender. 2 kills. More for Nitro. Now Stico alone with a deagle.
The magic bullet, if any.
Yeah, that goes 2 ways, right? Magic bullet, great blender. And of course the magic bullet of the deagle, right? Long range headshots.
Yep.
Not as magic as the R8 was, but.
Yep. I mean, you can still equip it if you dare. I mean, you aren't going to be able to use a deagle, but.
We've seen 2 of them this tournament, believe it or not.
Yeah, true. Have they gotten kills?
Nope. Surprise.
No coincidence there.
4K for Nitro.
Of course. Now, they move into round 6. HellRaisers, the thing was, they spent a little bit of money on the first 2 rounds. No armor, but again, the deagle, and then the deagle buy up again. And then moved into their first rifle round with not so much money. Here, because of the loss bonuses stacked, they saved 1 round. They did spend, like, Oscar bought a deagle, for example, and he's paying for that in nades. But the half armor is not so bad because of the AKs that Liquid have. The only thing about buying half armor is that if you get wall banged in the head, you die. It's just something to think about. And also, if you get shot by a pistol in the head, you're dead. So, and these are situations that can happen. So it's not, you're not necessarily stupid for buying head armor on the CT side. And Angel with a counter boost gets a frag for himself. Kucher, in the midst of a fire, gets a kill on Nitro.
Yeah, able to get 1 before going down. Oscar's got his sight on A main, still not budging, and there you go. There's that aim punch. Hiko takes down Oscar, and Elige will arm that bomb up, planning for A main. Hiko resigning behind the forklift, no one able to retreat into A main yet, but Hiko moved forward, catching Angel off guard. Elige doing the same exact thing. 0 on the E-box goes down. Hiko finds 2. The hype comes out. And a 4K, back-to-back 4Ks. Nitro got 1, but it was Ego Cobra. Hiko here, though, finds 1 in a rifle round. He's 9-1 right now, so here's Hiko pulling out a big performance.
And who was that we saw Liquid play on Overpass, where they just looked a lot stronger? it's slipping my memory, but we were questioning whether or
that
not
was Mouse Sports.
That was
No, sorry, HellRaisers played that. That was YP.
YP. Oh yeah. And
so that's
it was hard to gauge, and we talked about it. It was hard to gauge exactly how good Liquid were based off that result. And that was obviously their second best of one that they played, but they played so much better, and we see that kind of pouring over into this map where it's another rifle round. HellRaisers down 6-0. Taking that loss bonus and buying rifles. No one actually getting utility, just armoring up and trying to instead push for information early to get that early kill, but it's not paying off. It's 2v4 right now. Liquid went right into their default, and HellRaisers pretty much fell into their lap in all parts of the map.
Yeah, so if you take a look at the numbers, pull out the statistics again, everything going the way you might expect it for Team Liquid on their T side. It is their more favorite side on this map. And Cash as a map overall, if you're newer to Counter-Strike, is pretty even.
Yeah.
8-7, 7-8 either way. But 58.5% of the rounds won on the T side on Cash for Team Liquid. CT side actually a bit lackluster, so they'll need a good half, and they're finding it so far.
Yeah. A great way to start. Pad with a pistol, win rounds consecutively, and put HellRaisers in a bad economic spot. And they've got a, right now, it was a risky decision to buy. I think the main problem for them was that if they got 3 rifles and then they got 2 CZs and just had full nades, they could have had a smoke for each site, or they could have gone for mid control, kept the CZ near a rifle, and had a really, really good chance at playing a more passive setup and still being able to win. Instead, we had everybody going for firepower, and that almost never works. Like, I think it's very important, and it's not that dumb to get armor with a pistol. We see pistols get kills on rifles all the time. Hardly ever does an eco round go by without someone holding a rifle get killed. So, I mean, having 2 pistols doesn't really hold you back that much. I don't think it holds you back as much as having a rifle with no nades.
Yeah, and you can actually even use that pistol armor in 2 different ways. Well, I guess it's harder on the CT side, but for instance on the T side, you can either put that pistol first to just be the distraction, or you go and you hit your entry, the pistol comes in last, and then he just picks up a rifle from the enemy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing you can't do is you can't pick up grenades, right? You can't pick up a rifle, so something to keep in mind. But here is another buy back to back, and they're just trying to get that first one. I think the way they see it, the first round's the hardest, and Hiko, making that look difficult, comes out with the entry real early, just a dry peek out mid, and they're back in their default because now they can expect to see HellRaisers push for information. This puts HellRaisers in a horrible spot where they have to do something that's entirely predictable. Luckily for them, Angel's actually made his way into A main early, so I think noticing that Liquid were trying to take mid that quickly.
Bad choice from Zero. Well, maybe not. No good option left to him. He couldn't have known they're about to do the molly take to B. I thought they were going to go into sight, which is where Zero backed into, but actually is still safe. Yeah, there was 4 mollies, 2 into checker, 2 into sight. Full-on execute here, and Zero dodges all of this, and 2 kills, call it, because Simple brings down a Liege, and that's because of the damage that Zero has done. Even with that, Liquid still maintain a 3 versus 2 advantage here on round 8. Oscar will wait for that smoke to go by. You can see the bomb is down on the cross, so that's a bit of a problem, and they have more utility to work with. Oscar taking some nade damage, bit of a gap there. And okay, I was like, those aren't landing, but it's Kucher from up top that is the one to get the kill.
Oh, man. They smoke CT off, and of all spots they aren't watching Heaven. That's a little bit of an error. I mean, he wide peeked there and didn't even get traded out. So if we see this round lost, it might be because of that a little bit of carelessness by Liquid, and it's not to say they don't have rounds to work with, but who knows how this game will end. And Oscar moving into the site with Kucher. Kucher actually gets the first kill on the retake, and Oscar looking to put pressure on the player that he spotted. That's Adren with the op, and he wants to find his first frag so he can defend the plant, and he's looking for it, but the Tech-9 isn't good enough. Kucher with the P2K is too proficient, and that's Kucher going to go and stick the defuse after getting all kills on the retake.
He's big on that round. You said it perfectly. You smoked out, and then of all the spots to not be watching, they had a 3-on-2 and Team Liquid's advantage crossing into the sites. They go to get the bomb, they drop it because Kucher kills him from up top. It wasn't being watched. Breaks down into a 2-on-2. Hiko's fortunate that he can even plant the bomb for Checker because Adren was set up there. But as Hiko goes down, he tries to take the battle upper because that's something that Adren couldn't really cover.
And there wasn't even a trade, there wasn't even a peek afterward. And it's like you have 2 people over in Checker. They're, they got nothing to do. So might as well put them to work. But yeah, that's HellRaisers with the round. And fortunately for them, they kept 2 alive. They're still in deep water if they lose this. consecutive round, however. And it's interesting to see a boost up onto the electrical box from HellRaisers, and I think that's just a spot. Oh, maybe it's just a good spot to stand, and if someone comes over the boost.
It's a unique angle on people coming over boost, that's for sure.
Yeah. Be hard-pressed to find someone clearing this on a mid-take, but I think Simple has got some information on B. Likes the fact that it isn't smoked and wants to start clearing it out. We see the, it's important to follow the bomb on the mini-map because even if stuff goes on in other parts of the map, wherever the bomb is typically where you expect the team to go.
Yeah, and that bomb right now back in Sunroom could be setting up, well, only 2 Molotovs this time. We saw that big 4 Molotov B take, and that's the round they actually ended up losing. Let's see where these ones go. More than likely into the site if they only have 2 of them. Nitro very flash, and actually Incendiaries coming in from the HellRaisers. Smoke onto the cross. Nitro with the flash.
Zero did a very decent job of staying alive last round. This time he has Seiko up top to cover him. Oh, but he does go down for free. Nitro also finds a kill on Heavens. Seiko goes down, and now it's Angel, Kutcher, and Oscar on the retake. A tough spot to be in.
Yeah,
they could save right now. They could cut their losses right now.
Yeah, I thought they were actually pulling back instantly, but they linger a little bit, and that'll lead to the death of Oscar. So he's going to go down now, just Kucher and Angel. Even Kucher's still pretty close. Angel out middle will find Nitro. They know where he is. Now Kucher shoots. They spotted them both. They know they're in middle. Looking at the money, can they chase here? Money's actually not fantastic for Liquid. But
we saw Simple jump through that smoke right away because he noticed that this is just a really tough round to lose, to get double entry'd and then have to retake. So he predicted the save and was totally right about it. Caught a player off guard. Now it's just Angel with his rifle. So if you lost 2 players, you look back at this round, you're gonna think, wow, I could have just at least tried for the retake and maybe lost 2 players in that situation. Now they have nothing to show for it apart from this AK on Angel. Not a lot of money, man. What a huge half from Liquid so far.
Yeah, very, very dominant. And even like the one round that HellRaisers has, it's not like they had a convincing stop to anything. It was more so just the mistakes of Liquid as the bomb was down, and maybe they panicked a bit to get in there. And the 2v2, maybe a mistake was made, but hard to say exactly what. As now it's 8-1. Liquid with a big advantage going into round 10. They've got everything they want to work with, and not even really spreading out into a default, just setting up immediately for an A-take. If it's stacked, so what? They're confident that they can take it down.
So often we see random ecos being on. Wow, Oscar with the double dink. But eco with the double entry to return. I was going to say, so often we see on eco rounds like this, when a team has lost so many rounds in a row, if it's a situation where they're choking, it's like a confidence thing, they'll win some random eco round because they're throwing caution on the wind, pushing stuff. Taking all the fights they want, not really not really caring if they die, and coming in with a victory. And I was wondering if we were going to see a round like that here, but it looks like Liquid still stalwart in their attack and kept 4 players alive. And they're going to be eating off this for a while, Helium.
Yeah, and Angel going to turn this AK into an antique at this point as he tries to save it one more time, but Hiko's moving forward. Behind the white truck, that is Angel, and actually considerable amount of danger. Will Hiko check that? I don't know. And hearing the sound cues from Hiko shooting, Angel's not going to risk anything. As I say that, he was just going for that peek.
He's thirsty.
Yeah, he wanted $300 more. It can go a long way, man. That's a nade, and they could use them right now.
$300. What is that, like 5 million double bubbles?
Yeah, sure.
Just about
300 packs of them, anyways.
$1 a piece?
No, like a whole pack.
Oh, okay. Double bubble prices. Not an expert.
So Oscar has an op. Angel spends his money, drops someone, and actually will keep the AK for himself. Is that reasonable? I mean, Kucher on a FAMAS? I think you should have given this AK over to Kucher. He's been making some pretty big plays so far. The top fragger now, maybe even 0, because Angel's only sitting at 5 and 8. And actually, Stiko's at 0 and 10. 0 and 10.
Oh, you had to call him out, didn't you?
I did. I know that kills are not the most important thing.
Listen, his score looks great backwards.
In Counter-Strike. Yeah, if you're dyslexic, it looks really good. But when you're actually not getting any kills, it can be a problem, especially if you're losing 8 rounds. If they were winning 9-1 and he was 0 and 10, it's not an issue.
we've got to take a look at first frags after this and see if that's been a huge reason in Liquid's success so far. And the stack towards A should prove to be fruitful. It is if people don't go down without trades. Angel in a very advantageous position finds a frag. Kutcher helps him out with a kill too, and another. Oscar gets a frag for himself, and that leaves Adren alone in A main. Decimated on that A take, and it was pretty much a read from HellRaisers, who knew that they had to take a risk. Oscar also finding the second frag, doing wonders for their economy, not losing any more men.
So it's really not too much of a surprise. You brought up the first kills if we look at it. Let's see if I can actually get all the rounds. I'm missing one there, but whatever. We'll go with this. Elige has 3. Every single person on the team has 1. So that's 7 right there. Angel's got 1 first kill, and Oscar has 2.
Yeah. So that's a big way to just take control of the round, and we've seen it happen early. Hiko wide or getting that dry peek at mid with a rifle. That's the kind of kill that shouldn't happen. But playing off the momentum and changing it up. Here we got Nitro out mid, came out lower mid and threw a molly in vent. So they've got mid control for very little grenade usage. I mean, they did smoke Z, but they didn't have to exhaust too much.
Okay, so yep, that's going to be Hiko taking point at the headshot box. The most forward man there in middle. Elite. Oh, sorry, that's Nitro and Elise. Just kidding. Hiko's holding back by the bomb. We'll pick it up now. Simple. Going to take control of the vent room and, extend that map control. So if things go wrong, you can quickly flip it back over to B as he's pushing out. Now trying to find someone into the Z connector. Kucher's still holding on at the white truck.
One thing I think they learned by this white box peaks is that there's no one at quad. Because if a team gives up mid, the op always goes quad and spots mid. And Alicia's already taken that peak and stood there and watched it. So with that in mind, I think they'll almost certainly hit A. Yeah, they're already
put the op at B this round actually for HellRaisers. That's Oscar and 0 there. Kucher's going to go down. Nothing done about it. Angel will find Adren elsewhere. Now Hiko coming in a little bit late through A main brings down Angel as he tries to move back into the site to get control of it as the rest of his team falls. 0 making the rotation now. Along with Oscar, he's taking a fight with Simple, and he will lose out.
Wow, the effect of that map control was like a boa constrictor to the point that on each of the players at HellRaisers, like, yeah, they could stay in the spots they were in that 5v5, but Liquid had so much control of each area of the map that if HellRaisers decide to move at all, they would immediately get spotted and get killed. So rotations were, wow, completely dominated. I think that was Nitro. I think that was Nitro. I don't know if I've ever heard him talk. Well, I've never heard him say a word.
Still haven't.
Yeah.
You've only heard him yell very manly.
And it's good to see the hype. We saw that. I think the hype did wonders for Splice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, at the minor they were hype. At this major qualifier they were hype. And they had underdog victories, so maybe there's a correlation there.
All right, well, Liquid still up by 8 rounds, likely to be a 9th here as it is just pistols. Again, upgraded pistols, a lot of deagles, which are expensive, but they forego the armor. So deagles on a budget there for the HellRaisers.
And, if your default works, it's like you don't have to change anything up. You can keep playing slow. You remove the option of the other team being able to push you because that's the one thing you watch for in your default. And then it's like, you do a late round push, or you're going to end up doing it too late and then have the team executing on a site already. And, Liquid can just continue to suffocate them on their sites as they make them afraid to try to do anything aggressive.
A lot of Molotovs going out to the forklift, and it will be effective. It actually cleared out both Kucher and Oscar from that position. Now they'll go into the site. Simple finding the first kill onto Oscar. And then also another one supporting Elige and his frag onto Angel. Nitro will go in, clear out the site, and they completely, escape all dangers of those upgraded pistols. Not a single member of Team Liquid falling, leading now 11-2.
Oh man, I'm not gonna call them out. But HellRaisers have 2 rounds right now with a maximum potential of 4 rounds and just nothing to talk about that would help me allude to the thought that they might be able to pull off something, because a lot of these rounds have not been close at all, and Liquid just look like they're completely outclassing them at this point on cash.
Yeah, they really do. So Stiko and 0 and try to get a little bit more aggressive. Actually, 3 people over inside of B. How aggressive will they want to get? I mean, at this point, like, you might as well change it up. There's not too much to lose now. And Stiko,
First one's the
kill
hardest.
is the hardest, and it's an impact frag. It's the first kill of the map, and it's on to Simple. And here's Angel going to bring down Nitro. So 4 versus 3. HellRaisers find themselves with an advantage, and about 1:10 on the clock here as the bomb starts to come up highway and towards the A site.
Yep, 3 versus 3 right now. In an A-take situation where the concave is better for the CTs, and Kutcher is showing us why, shooting 2 players in the back of the head. And now it's just a Dren seeing the shadow of a player flying over the site like a Dark Knight.
Batman.
But yeah, doesn't know where he's about to land. And they succumb to the pressure that was put on them by the conclave of HellRaisers in that situation. Really nice setup. And it seems like when Liquid want to go A, which they like going A a lot, HellRaisers are starting to get the message. The issue is that like Liquid could want to go A, HellRaisers could play a lot of players there, like they have been, and Liquid could still win. And so I feel like they don't feel the need to sell some kind of fake before they do what they want.
Every time you mention concave, all I can think of is Dragoons from Brood War. Constantly, immediately triggers having played Protoss. Back in the hardest video game of all time.
Dragoons are great.
Counter-Strike also quite difficult.
The lovable dumbasses.
Yeah, they were. AI was not good.
Yep.
Oscar over here at the Toxic Barrels with an op. Could go a long way. Elusion going to peek by himself. Oh, gives him the foot. That'll bake the shot, but there was no repeek by Nitro.
No need. And
they just get the information.
Yeah, they get that, so much information off of that. You know, ops at A, Oscar. So, you know, and he doesn't even have a way to really get across the map here. So if they wanted to hit B, which they are about to, they can avoid pretty much one of the most terrifying players in the server, if not in the world.
0. Kind of a unique spot, a little bit of an off angle, can play it because B main smoked off and he wants to watch Checker. Wasn't able to get anything done, and oh, he's got to throw that flash quick. Elysia's able to cross. Okay, Stiko has the cross. This man started to get kills. This could be the turnaround for HellRaisers. One more round here in this half. It's going to go a long way when you switch sides. Oscar, another op frag, 5-on-2. Here's a Dren. Going to bring down Stiko, spots a man in the site, or did he? Started to look over to CT. He's going to slide into CT, try to get a kill on a very unsuspecting player. I wonder if the scope can be heard at those ranges. Angel to bring down Simple, and a Dren falls. Op shot from Oscar, 2K for him on the round, and HellRaisers, they bounce back. It's not a great half, but it's certainly a lot better than it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been better. I mean, the other thing is that they were on CT side, right? So it's not just a 4-11 half where, like, you know, you managed to get a few tough rounds. They got a few rounds that that should have been a lot easier to come by, and now they have just a lot of legwork to do. I wonder what, you know, how much of them is thinking about the next map, but at the same time, I mean, you know, they will be good on T side. They will be. I think Liquid will be equally as formidable. One thing that was really nice about Liquid's Dust 2 when we saw them was the multitude of setups they had, even though it's not like the strongest map for them. It was a map they liked, but they just had so many different CT setups, and all of them were really, really effective. They were using them at the right times. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, people have been very critical of Adren's calling, including myself. Like, I've seen, like, some plays that I'm like, Adren is, you know, the master of this player. He's making his teammates do this, and it just looked really, really bad. But at this qualifier, it's I don't know, it feels different.
Yeah, it does, which is kind of crazy because they came into this with Nitro being the caller in game, because that was kind of his new role since they brought Kusta in place of Adren, and then immediately, even though the first game was very close, they did lose it, and they kind of reverted back to the old ways, which had a lot of us worried here, but it seems like it is working out. Liquid with the massive lead going into this. CT side a little shakier than their strong T side here on Cash, but they've put enough in that they should be able to close this out. Although HellRaisers starting to find their stride, got some momentum coming into this pistol round.
Yeah, certainly do. And it is all about hitting those one-taps. Here we actually have Liquid playing 3-on-8, which is very unconventional. Like, typically you have a stack over towards B. Oh, and Angel is going to feed right into this fear that it's going to be an A hit. Will actually probably make him pretty happy. Won't necessarily cause any rotates, but they've got 4 players all dedicated to the site. And Nitro all by himself. Oh, actually, oh my goodness.
But they've got Hiko, the Lone Ranger, in B. He finds 2 as he fades away into the site. Now he lives in the shadows. He lurks to buy time. 0-1 versus 4. It all fell apart. HellRaisers looked like they cooked up the perfect strat.
Okay, that might have
Liquid
been,
are hungry and they eat it up.
that might have been simple. I'm not sure.
Someone's screaming.
They're hype. They are hype. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, you're a solo man on the site who's just supposed to spot. Typically, if a site's being faked that hard, will be even less likely to get a kill because they might be thinking about rotating. They'll be a little bit unfocused, right?
Simple moved. There were 4 people in A.
Yeah, no. But Hiko, even him,
Yeah.
might just be thinking, oh, I'm going to have to prepare to rotate at some point, and might be out of his headspace, but ends up getting 2 frags.
So 12-4 now, and well, the pistol round, that's exactly what HellRaisers needed to continue the momentum they had late in the first half. And it all falls flat now. Team Liquid, you heard the screams. They're hyped up. They're ready to go. This is qualification round, map 1 in the first best of 3 we've seen here at the Major LAN qualifiers.
Alicia's going to spot mid. I mean, it's basically just going to be his job not to die. Get info on boost, which is a place that a lot of people like to go because it's more important, I think, on the force-ups to play sites instead of mid. Excuse me. Because getting the bomb down is just your goal on these ecos. But HellRaisers actually forcing up, which is interesting because like on the CT side they bought the Deagles 2 times without buying the half armor, and here we have both the half armor and the Deagles.
Unfortunate nade trajectory, and it bounces too high to do really any damage to the players that were waiting on the boost. But you can see that Team Liquid are kind of suspecting that, and Nitro's going to be up here on the boost. It's checked immediately. Zero goes in with the bomb, falls, it's dropped. Will they pick it up? Yeah, Oscar's able to get a hold of it, but Adren killing another one, and Elige locking down the highway. So that's Angel and Oscar. And the force up here from HellRaisers, it's not going to go well. It'll be Team Liquid at 13 rounds unless Angel with this Deagle can pull off a miracle, but not today.
Now, Liquid, I mean, they did what they needed to do. They won the pistol. They didn't get ecoed. This was like, Cloud9, 11-4 half. They win the pistol, they get ecoed, and all of a sudden, you're worried for them. But Liquid, they're getting to that super critical. I love the zooms. I love the zooms.
I love how every team has a stuffed animal.
Yeah, that's great.
We need to do a stuffed animal profile at the Major, get the story for every single one of them.
Yeah.
I don't actually, does Liquid have
It'd be
one?
funny if it was a camel. Was that the camel?
No, that's for HellRaisers, but I just wonder if Liquid has a plushie as well.
It'd be funny if it was a camel from Liquid, and it was like, who's top fragging on Liquid?
Liquid just has bottles of water.
It was just like Hiko with a
mascot.
camel because he's got all the liquid on his back. He's carrying it.
That's actually perfect. We need, okay.
That's too bad about
They're
that.
onto something with that. I was actually, as this round's going kind of slow and HellRaisers don't have much of a stake in it, although they have got a kill on Nitro and Elige is somewhat low. They're making a jersey, Splice. They're going to make a jersey for the Sloth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a Sloth to be remembered. And yeah, HellRaisers, just no utility. Picking the right side, I think, in this situation. Like all these rotates that we see, 3 out of 4 players right now are fast rotate to A, and Hiko's playing retake on B, which is interesting. But because they don't have a smoke, he's actually able to just go to town getting 2 kills. Though, eventually traded out. And whoa, Angel comes through with another frag. That's the second on the round. And it's a 2v2, but he gets a 3rd kill. Adren, the last player alive, has to rotate through vents with an MP7 and has to make noise to come out. Angel doesn't have... Ooh, Angel didn't have any armor and goes down.
I like that. He knew that there was an M4 under him, but wasn't sure if it had bullets. So he goes out, finds a kill with the MP7, picks up this gun, knows he's got ammunition. Nade might just win the round. Touchdown! Pass from Adren.
As the bomb timer ticks, no problem. Adren wins the 1v2. And yeah, Angel, wow, Angel just going beast mode. Like 2 headshots, no armor, rifle.
Didn't perform the miracle in the last round, but he almost pulled off one there.
Yep.
10-round deficit now for HellRaisers, but they will have the money now, and especially that plant going to help them out even more so. So first rifle comes into the 4th round of the second half. Op on Adren. Oscar can afford one, and yeah, he goes for it. It'll be an op with full armor. No utility, though, for him.
Yeah, no utility. No utility. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. I mean, that's, having enough money isn't really the biggest problem for HellRaisers. It might be simply like a series of things apart from that, like being pound for pound, maybe a worse team, just not being as coordinated overall. But this is also one of the first rounds the first round that they'll be able to play T-side, and whoa, Adren and Elige answer back to the 2 kills of HellRaisers. And we could say this favors T's. T's got mid control. They have the bomb. They have a little bit of utility left. They have an op on Stico.
Yeah, and the defenses are thinned out. A lot more space on the map to work with because it comes down to a 3-on-3. Hiko still holding on to that B site by himself, but the rotations, they've actually completely left A at this point. Dren is going to slide back, but Nitro's also staying around in B.
Yeah. And a Dren with the op at A means that his teammates can stack the other site, and it's also the site where they want to go. Oh, Hiko getting that flash for information. Doesn't realize it's someone cross checker. That's Angel.
Yeah, even I didn't realize that one. Hiko holding out at the unspammable box, and Zero not checking anything. Bomb will go down. Angel, he knows where he is, and Stiko hits the op shot onto a Dren. It's all going to fall onto Hiko here. He's got a 2K. And Stiko, time to redeem himself. Did not have a great first half. Started to get some kills, and now here he is, 1v1 versus the clutch man himself.
Tense situation. Stiko, 3 kills, looking for a 4th.
Yeah, Hiko, I mean, you don't want to peek that op. You know that Stiko's got to come out and get to that. Oh, he actually switched off the op, but it won't matter. He lands some shots, but I think they come through the corner of that box, and Hiko's able to get the clean kill. 3K for him, and winning it by his lonesome there in that B site.
Yeah, the solo B hold.
He's 24-8 right now.
Yeah. I think it's 24 in real life, too, so not sure what that means for him as a player, but...
Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly. Hiko, you know, and that's the value of having like a super sick solo side player. Like everyone wants to say they're a solo side player. It's not true. It's not true. Everyone wants to think they're, you know, a lurker, but few players are actually that. Hiko is one of them. Players like him means that you can stack the other site comfortably with peace of mind, not half-ass it, and know that this player can guarantee kills. A-side take coming out on a buy from HellRaisers because this is the last round for them if they lose it.
And they're so distracted fighting over for a fork left in that highway angle that Nitro can just walk through the site, take a player down for free. Stiko jumps up, gets a Dren off the catwalk, but Nitro still lurking on the backside. Gets a kill onto Stiko now, all on Angel, 1 versus 2. A man on his left, a man on his right, and Nitro will peek out to find a third. Liquid dominate map 1 cash, win it 16-4.
Wow, that's an unbelievable game from Liquid. I think if I were to predict the map score, I mean, I think I would have assumed that Liquid would take cash. 16-4, I wouldn't have put it close to that. I would have said at least a minimum of 10 rounds for HellRaisers, and yeah, Liquid looking like a completely different team at this major qualifier.
Yeah, and Hiko, he was actually put into question a little bit by the desk, his performance, and well, here he goes, 25-9, 122 ADR, and I think the story of this game overall, strong T-side and a ton of first kill rounds for Team Liquid, always putting themselves in good positions. Only a round or two that maybe they lost that they maybe could have even won and had a more dominant victory, but all in all, great performance from Liquid. They win on cash, known to be one of their best maps, and now they get to go on to Overpass, which is statistically even better for them.
Right.
But they do still favor cash more.
Yeah. I mean, they can put the ops to work here. If 2 people pick up an op, you have Simple, who's rifling now, just anchoring the other site just for fun, you know, and there's just so much power having like so much skill individually on the CT side of Overpass where, you know, you got to be aggressive, you got to be confident, you got to be spread thin all the time.
All right, well, that's enough from us. We're going to throw it down to the desk.
Thanks a lot for that, guys. So, convincing Team Liquid. Obviously, it was the map that we expected them to win, but they won it in fine fashion. And the changes that they've made are obviously working. Just to clarify for the people at home what those changes are, Adren is actually gone back to calling in-game now. And, you know, we've been critical of him in terms of what he brings to the scoreboard, but seems to be working so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, Dren going back, so they're back to the way that the team was used to playing, at least to the point before they removed the Dren. Nitro obviously didn't really seem confident about his own abilities to be calling for the team coming into this event, and with how close that HellRaisers set was, I don't think they wanted to risk their major position, so just go back to the old stuff. May not be working the greatest, but at least it's a little bit more secure and guaranteed than what they were working with, having Nitro leading it.
I think it was a mistake from HellRaisers to let Team Liquid on the cash. This is their best map.
Yeah.
And you saw it's a bad map for HellRaisers. Their CT side was terrible. Like, they couldn't contain anything Team Liquid did. As a result, it's no wonder Team Liquid was laughing, like shouting. It was like a very jovial atmosphere because they did anything they wanted on T side and had such a lead at that point in time. It was very unlikely they were going to lose the game.
And Adren, obviously the loudest, which is strange because this is it, baby. Take one last look at your teammates because obviously you've been replaced.
Unless they make the major.
Yeah, of course, unless they make the major and then he'll play there. But unless GBGM subs himself in.
They do.
Entirely possible.
See if Jenny needs him back on the farm.
Yeah, we need. Reference game on point. You know, I think we talked about Hiko before that as well. We didn't really have a lot of time to pontificate on it. I thought a big performance from him, but historically, his best performances have come on Cash.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a huge play from him. There was constant 2Ks and 3Ks coming out from Hiko, and huge just monster plays from him as well to save his team in quite a few of those tougher spots in the round. So while we were talking about him being more of a consistent player in that run he stepped up to the level. He was the monster player that Hiko's always hyped up to be in that game.
And we saw some issues from the HellRaisers guys. Stiko, who I was saying, you know, he's no joke, this guy. I mean, not a great game from him at all, and just couldn't really get into it, couldn't find his feet. What was he doing wrong? Anything you observed?
I mean, I actually felt, like I said yesterday, for me, he was the guy who overperformed a bit. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe a couple of rounds here and there. Zero got like kind of a bit lucky or made some crazy plays he wouldn't normally. But it's like the consistent amount of fragging output from Stiko yesterday was what I didn't expect. Like online, he's been good, but he hasn't been that consistent presence on form. Like they had two guys, Oscar and Stiko, putting up non-stop kills yesterday. Today, Stiko obviously he came back down to earth. He wasn't getting anywhere near that level of performance. And he was a player also where I think in general he's like many riflers, he's much better with the AK. And so on CT side he wasn't able to get a whole lot done whatsoever actually. And the thing about HellRaisers, they remind me of Gambit in this way as well. Is that I feel like they play because it is essentially they are two halves of what used to be the old HellRaisers in these two teams. They still have that same core principle, which is on CT side they just play super passively. And it's like they just wait for you to come to the site and they're going to take aim duels and try and win the aim duels. They're never really like normally a beautiful CT half in Counter-Strike, when you look at the mini-map, the overview map is when you see like really great Counter-Strike, because what you see is the CT map sort of like they pull back as you push in and then they're like pushing around the back of you when you've committed to an area, and it's like they're just adapting and reacting constantly. The guys from this team and Gambit as well, they just stay in their positions and then they just wait for you to come to them essentially. So it's not a very good style, and when you're against a team that's very good on T side, like Team Liquid is, you're not going to punish anything they do. You're just hoping again and again that you take up the same shots and that this time you make the shots. That's not a way to play winning Counter-Strike, especially when, like today, you don't have the fraggers. That's the thing, it only works. Like in Gambit's case, it was working because they had guys who were hitting those shots.
So we look ahead to Overpass now, and it must win for HellRaisers. I still think Team Liquid, you know, this is a good map, very good map for Team Liquid. So, I mean, I think HellRaisers have really got an uphill battle here. What do you guys think?
With HellRaisers having the poor performance coming in from that last map, I imagine the pressure is going to start to shift in, and we'll again start to see some mistakes being made by the team like they were making consistently in that last map. However, Liquid still has quite a few problems on this map too, considerably on their CT side. They really struggle a lot with the A side aggressiveness because, you know, you sort of have to try and control the bathrooms area with how aggressive you're playing, and along with long A as well. They often miscalculate the push the Ts are going to be throwing at them a lot of the time, and they'll lose 2, sometimes even 3 players depending on how they play it, and that'll just open up the A site round after round after round again. So that's one key thing for me that they're going to need to be very careful of on this map. Otherwise, we'll see a much better performance from HellRaisers on the T side.
Yeah, what about you, Duncan? I mean, we said 2-1, I think. Did you go for 2-1?
He went 2-0.
Oh, you went 2-0. So you're obviously going to be feeling pretty good about the prediction right now. You think they're going to walk over Overpass?
I'm not sure how they decide who starts on what map, like whether they actually did an knife round. I think I would assume you just get to pick if it's the other person's map.
Yeah, the way it normally works in CEVO games is it's the team that picks the map, the other team picks the side.
Yeah, so I would assume
I think that's how it
makes
works.
sense because obviously HellRaisers picked to go CT first on Cash,
Yeah.
so that would be the side you would pick. In which case, obviously Team Liquid will probably go CT, I think, on Overpass. Yeah. If you start CT, even though I agree they can have some issues, when you're already up a game in the series, that's exactly where you want to be. You want to get that nice like 9 or 10 rounds on your CT half, and you're actually close to the victory then. You've got the pressure fully on the other guy at this point in time. He knows, like, back against the wall the whole time when I switch over to CT, can't make a mistake. And in that sort of a scenario, you always have the pressure then of, you know that you only have a window of like 5 or so rounds, but then do you do the force buy, or do you do that double save? If you do that double save, you're going to be really close to that's when the really tough questions come in. So if Team Liquid can get a nice roll, and they do start CT as we're kind of postulating here, I think this is like the ideal scenario for them. I think they are a good Overpass team. HellRaisers is good on this as well. This is one of their better maps, but I think that historically this has been a great map for Team Liquid. The old lineup, add in Simple, who can do it all. He can all peek and rifle. I think this is a great possible map for them to close the series out.
Okay, well, thanks for your thoughts. Players are getting back, so we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to get back into the game. It'll be the second map, Team Liquid versus HellRaisers, and it's going to be Overpass. We will see you soon.